What does it mean to be romantic? What does romance mean? Well, back in the day, it meant being Roman. Let's dig in. Every year when I talk to my students about this, they start squirming in their seats and get a little giggly. The word romantic basically meant Roman-like, not the Julius Caesar stabbed 23 times kind of Roman-like, but more like the Romans were some of the cleanest people in the ancient world. They had public bathhouses and loved getting cleaned up. They had toilets with running water underneath, so when they did their business, their poo just floated away. And they wiped with a sponge on a stick. And yes, that was shared. Toilet paper wasn't invented yet. I hope they rinsed that sponge before the next guy used it. Romans liked perfumes, nice clothing, doing their hair, putting on makeup. They were neat and clean compared to the barbarians who usually washed in a river, maybe did their business in the woods and wiped with a leaf. To the Romans, the barbarian languages sounded like grunting and barking, bar, 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 while Latin, their language, sounded smooth, sophisticated, like fine wine. Naturally, the Romans thought they were better than everyone else. Maybe they were in some ways, but they made sure the barbarians outside the empire knew they were barbarians. So, modern idea of romantic, buying flowers, opening a door for a lady, writing a poem, comes from the idea of being refined and polished, like the Romans saw themselves. And yes, Romans did write poetry and they wrote love letters, and many of them were literate, especially wealthy people. Even some Roman soldiers had to know how to read and write their orders. Today, romance is a word we think about Valentine's Day, and originally it was connected with the Roman language, Latin. After the Roman Empire fell, and all empires fall, Latin didn't disappear, but during the Middle Ages, people didn't travel much, so Latin started to change in the different regions. The Latin spoken in Spain and Italy and France and different areas kind of merged in with the barbarian languages that were there and created something that was a little bit different. Eventually, those different versions became Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, French, and Romanian, what we call Romance languages. They all used to be Latin, but they changed enough that now they're different languages. It's kind of like what's happening with English. The United States has been around for only 250 years, but American English is already different from British English. We fix the computer, put gas in our cars, and go on vacation. Peppa Pig mends the computer, puts petrol in her car, and goes on holiday. Australian English is different too. Bluey calls everyone mate and has a heap of fun playing cricket, and if something goes wrong, it's no worries, mate. That's only a couple hundred years of separation. Imagine 1,000 years or 1,500 years, like the time between the fall of Rome in 476 AD and today. That's basically how Latin turned into 5 new languages. So yes, the Romans were romantic, and romance was simply being Roman. Kind of interesting, if you ask me. If you like little tidbits of information like this, check out my channel for a whole lot more history stories you just have to know. This is Have to Know History. History you just have to know. Thanks for being here.